In 2005, London formed the AAA All-Star Program, which is a nonprofit organization that allows youth to reach their potential through a combination of academics, athletics, and the arts. He's a former board member of the Yonkers Puerto Rican Hispanic Day Parade. He's director of entertainment for Nike Pro City Basketball League. He was featured in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland and the Brooklyn Museum of Art. London attended John F. Kennedy High School in the Bronx. He studied at SUNY Purchase, where he met his wife Laura. His wife Laura is a Yonkers public school music teacher, and they have two sons who were educated in the Yonkers school system and have since graduated with honors from college. So I'd like to welcome London Reyes.
Wow, thank you so much. First and foremost, I would like to thank everybody for coming here, and so many wonderful people. And you can just feel the energy and the support system that's here that kind of makes you feel kind of something inside, like you're a part of something. And I think that that's part of the message, that we all want to be a part of something and want to feel that we make a contribution to society. And we all want to leave a legacy behind. And me growing up in the South Bronx, you mentioned my hip-hop career. It's so funny because people look at me now, they're like, no way, you gotta be kidding me. I go, let me get the VCR out. Right, exactly. Yeah, here we go. But first I want to just thank Shirley Katz, I want to thank Michelle Franks, I want to thank Bob. I want to thank everybody for inviting me to come down here because stuff like this is extremely important, right? So growing up in the South Bronx, I fell in love with this art form back then that was called breakdancing. And unbeknownst to me, that saved my life. I have like an obsessive personality, so when I get involved in something, I'm all in. And I can't think about anything else but accomplishing that goal or that mission. So I became obsessed. I threw my furniture to the side. My mother walked into my room, oh my God, what are you doing? What's wrong with this kid? He's got all the furniture outside, he's doing this flipping and spinning, and we gotta get him some medication or something. Unbeknownst to me, back then in the early 80s, there was no thing called hip hop. And what I like to talk about is, as a child growing up, if many of you have seen Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Islands of Misfit Toys, that was us as kids. We were on that island. Some of us were Spanish, some of us were white, some of us were black, some of us were tall, some of us, we were all different. And what made us different is what brought us together. And that's what we're missing. Being different you shouldn't be tossed to the side. That's a gift. We should embrace those gifts. And we should look and see how can we use those gifts for a greater cause. Because deep down inside, we're all suffering. Deep down inside. Right? So, after I got married, and my career is up and down as anything, whether it's music or entertainment and dance. So one minute I'm flying all around the world dancing, I'm thinking like, oh, what an experience. Traveling the world is such a different experience than going to school and reading about it in books, right? So some of us are visual learners, right? We all have different ways of learning, and that's what my nonprofit focuses on. It's like a radio station. If you're not tuned into the right station, how do you receive the information? Right? So we have to begin to try new things. Some things that at first you might look at and be like, I'm not really sure. But everything has to be based on numbers, right? So you have to have a support system of numbers to base all of that. So when I came to Yonkers and I moved to a place called Nodine Hill, once again, unbeknownst to me, did not realize that that was the poorest sector in all of Westchester County. And some of my family members that are here can attest to that. Dr. Data Sage, Shelly Mayer, Elliot Engel, Aubrey Edges to her cousins. They know Nodine Hill because they worked in Yonkers. And when I moved to Nodine Hill, I moved into a beautiful building, had furniture. I'm thinking like, they're gonna think we're rich. We made it. This is great. Oh my God, I can't wait to invite my friends. And then when you go outside, you realize, whoa, this is a different country over here. Like I'm from the South Bronx, but Nodine Hill, it's just a little bit different. So one day, my kids get chased home. We had like a little park in the building, we had a co-op. And my wife was there, and they threatened to come back with a gun and shoot everybody. So my wife panics. The mothers that are in there, everybody starts panicking. Shooting, what I feel, is something that happens quite often. So went home, called, and from that point on, I said, okay, we're gonna get involved. Now, how do we get involved? Now, me as a child growing up in the South Bronx, I always felt misunderstood. I always felt like the dialogue, there was like a disconnect. And I said to myself, I told my wife, who did not grow up in the South Bronx, she grew up doing well for herself, eating 3 meals a day, listening to classical music. I'm a hip hop guy, listening to rap music, eating like a savage. Opposites attract, I guess. She truly made me a better person. Absolutely, I believe that. So I tell my wife, we gotta start a nonprofit, we're gonna help these kids, because if we're gonna live in this community, man, I don't wanna be caught in a situation that I can't control or help in some way. So right away, being from the Bronx, I bring that and I say, okay, we have to organize. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a basketball league, and I'm gonna make it like Rucker Park, because every child wants to be a star. So I buy a system, and I grab the mic, there he is with a dribble up the middle passes. The kids are like, whoa, wow, yeah, y'all wanna join that league. And then all these girls start coming, and I'm like, well, we don't have enough girls to create a league, but I'll tell you what, we'll teach you some dance steps, we'll make you into like a stepping team. So they were all marching and stepping, the boys were playing, and all of a sudden kids were jumping out the building, coming out to the park. What's going on? And I told my wife, I told you. I said, because I'm speaking their language. And when you speak to a child in a language that they understand, and you truly care, and children know. They know when it's like, hey, I know. They know. So there's a reason why kids and family members, more times than not, will bend over backwards for the things that you believe in, and the things that you support. And the people that I represent in Southwest Yonkers, there's a small group that is growing. And God bless the new people that came in and implemented all of these laws, including early voting. What a game changer that is. Praise the Lord. Oh my man. In Southwest Yonkers, there are so many people, and that's throughout America, that cannot vote for many different reasons. Now we can allow them to vote to make sure that we implement policies and put people in office that share the same vision that we share, because we're entitled to it, we believe in it, and we should support it. So early voting was one of the major things, and thank you so much for doing that. And that's going to make things just a little bit easier. Not that it'll be easy. So, for me, a lot of the pain that we all suffer, I believe, comes with economic distress. Okay? I'm not that old, but I can tell you, as I grew up from a father that was very involved, which is where I think I got all of this stuff from. So as a little kid, he would bring me along to these things that were community related, not knowing that that would have an impact on me. As I grew older, and I realized that these were patterns that I would see in children and even parents. My grandparents came to this country, did not read or write English or Spanish. They were farmers. They came from Puerto Rico. They came here just to work. Well, how can they possibly educate their children if they can't read or write? That still exists. So I'm not one to sit there and blame parents for some things that maybe they can't really provide assistance with. What I do believe is we find solutions to the things that bring negativity to us. And then if we have things that we're experiencing, we mimic those things, we copy those things. I like that program. I like the way they do those drills. When I started coaching basketball, that's what I did. I looked at every coach and I like the way he does this, I like the way he does that, I like the way he does that. When I was dancing, I like that step. I'm going to take that step, mix it into this step. I took my program and I said, we're going to base it on help. And so we called it the AAA All-Stars. And I told my wife, I said, yeah, like when your car breaks down, you call AAA, they come, they fix the flat, charge your battery up, they wash your window, they do all that stuff. I said, well, we'll be the AAA for the youth. When your child breaks down and they act up, bring them to me. I'll straighten that child up, no problem. Come on, bring them down here. And what I realized was, when I was truthful with them, and that's some of the problems that we have, being honest, brutally honest, that they learned to love and respect that because they knew at the end it was going to make them better in the long run. Because in life, we all strive for things, and more times than not, we don't achieve those things, but we don't stop trying. And one thing that I always told my kids, and that's why I love my community so much, if you're not trying to make history, then you're not trying. And I don't care what it is you do in life. You go there to make history. And that's what you guys are doing, and I'm so grateful that you had me here. And I would love to come here with my children next time so they can sing and they can participate in this thing and their family members, because there's strength in numbers and we all have similar ideologies. And I love it when we all come together. Thank you. God bless you. And I love you, love you, love you.
Thank you, London.